Welcome to the Viking Age podcast, the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Chris Schad. I write for FanSided and ZoneCoverage.com. He is Adam Patrick, a lead editor for the NFL division here at FanSided, as well as the managing editor of the Viking Age. We do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We are also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. On today's show, normally I would give a rundown with a couple of chippy little headlines, and then I'd give it to Adam. Like, what do you think? I'm going to do things differently, if you don't mind, Adam, because I need to start by getting something off my chest. So if that's all right with you.
Go right ahead.
Well, I'm going to start by congratulating the UW River Falls Falcons for winning the D3 National Championship last night. They defeated North Central, an Illinois school, 24-14 after falling behind 14-3 early in the game. It didn't look good. Caleb Blaha, the John Gallardi winner, broke Joe Burrow's NCAA record for all-purpose yards in a season. North Central also was making its sixth consecutive Stag Bowl appearance and held the top spot in the D3 rankings for 44 straight weeks before they lost to River Falls last night. As the ESPN announcers hammered on repeat, the Falcons were a heavy underdog in this game. Why, you ask? Well, this team won no more than 3 games in a season when I was in college. I actually thought it was less than 5, but they've gotten 3. So, I mean, they lost more than they won. They haven't been to the playoffs since 1996.
Wow.
Matt Walker, head coach, had been there for 15 years. In his third season, they were 0-10. And he joked, I probably should have been fired for that. And this team, with all of the losing, all of the long broadcasts that I had up in the Raymer Field booth, although now I think it's like David Smith Stadium or something like that. This team won a championship before the Minnesota Vikings did. And that's where I want to start, because the Minnesota Vikings are 9-8 again, back like we never left. They closed the season on Sunday with a thrilling 16-3 win over the Green Bay Packers. Harrison Smith and CJ Ham honored, not officially, but kind of official for their last games in Vikings uniforms, as people kind of are connecting the dots there. And JJ McCarthy took himself out of the game in the third quarter because he's playing with a broken hand. But people can't seem to, they think it's an owie. They think he's a wuss, like whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. Now I will kick it to you, Adam. What did you think about this thrilling victory over the Green Bay Packers that gave many Vikings fans bragging rights to their coworkers on Monday morning?
Well, I mean, I wish I would have known sooner, or else I would have been campaigning the Vikings to tank for Blaha,
Hell yeah.
They'd have the better shot at getting him. Yesterday meant nothing. It was a retirement ceremony for Harrison Smith and CJ Ham. That's pretty much what the whole game was about. CJ Ham got the only touchdown. Will Reichard got the rest of the points. And then Matt LaFleur was a giant dickhead and called timeout to kick a field goal to not let the Vikings get a shutout. Because why would we want to do that? That would be no fun. And he apparently ruined the Vikings' plan to have a victory formation at the end of the game with CJ Ham and Harrison Smith on the field taking the final snap. So thanks a lot for that too, Matt LaFleur, you dickhead. But yeah, it's always good to beat the Packers. I don't know. Yesterday just felt like it would, like the announcers even talked about it. They were like, this is a souped up preseason game pretty much. The broadcast sounded it felt like a podcast with football going on in the background, because they were literally just talking about completely different things while football was actually going on. They just weren't calling the game at all, but I don't blame them either, because Max Brosmer was in there for half the game and he proved again why he is the Vikings' secret, and they didn't want to let anyone know. that he was on their roster because he was their secret. Um, I think the Vikings are gonna be able to keep that secret if they want next year. But yeah, they won. They're 9-8, 5-0 in their last 5 games. I've seen a lot of well, if this happened and they would have been in the playoffs, this happened would have been in the play. It's like yeah, a lot of things would have if would have gone the other way. It would have happened. And they would have been in the playoffs, but there was a lot of this team didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. They beat the backups yesterday by 13 points. They should have won 30-0. They won 16-3. And I understand Brosmer had to play for half the game, but Jefferson was in there for like every drive until the final one. They had their full defense out there. Like they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, even if they did qualify. Like the Panthers just squeaked in. Like, is that what you Vikings fans really wanted for them to back in the playoffs and then get creamed by like the Eagles or Seahawks? Like, no, I don't want to see that. Um, so yeah, it was the end of a interesting season and it leads us into what will probably be a very interesting off season.
You know, I, as I usually do, kind of got into it with some people on X or Twitter, whatever
What?
you prefer to call it these days. And I've heard a lot of the same things that you're mentioning where, oh my God, we were 9-8. I got a text from a friend actually that said we won just as many games as the Packers.
But they're in the playoffs.
Exactly. They are in the playoffs. And by the way,
They were in the
you're
playoffs.
basically 9-8 because like you mentioned, you beat all their backups. Like here's the thing that sets me off. And like, let me make this clear. I hate the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
I completely hate that team. Every time I see Matt LaFleur, I want to punch him in the face. There are podcast hosts that I would drive all the way to Wisconsin, snap their glasses, and drive back with a big smile on my face because they are that big of a jackass. So I don't like the Packers. I don't like the fact Matt LaFleur gets his 4th haircut of the week and he goes up to the podium and he starts talking about, well, yeah, Matthew Golden's not Laquan Treadwell. I mean, look at all the number ones we have. We have Christian Watson. We have Romeo Dobbs. We have Jaden Reed. We have Bo Melton. Bo Melton is so good. He played corner. You don't even know about that. I mean, that is pretty incredible. Marshawn Lloyd, the explosiveness that he shows, he's so explosive. His hamstring explodes every time he turns it up. And our little secret, you got Max Brosmer, we got Colin Oliver, baby Micah, they're calling him. That's right. Like every fucking player on that roster, 6 deep, is a future Hall of Famer. Like they've been picked by some football god to wear green and gold. Like this is our holy. They could print franchise quarterbacks 3D style and just be like, oh, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know why you can't develop JJ McCarthy at all. And what drives me nuts, like out of all of this, and I understand the Packer hatred. I just ranted about that team for about 30 seconds or however long it was. I blacked out. What drives me nuts is like, I feel like that's the bar for this franchise. Like we have to be better than the Packers because, oh my goodness, if we don't beat them, they're going to tell us that they have 4 Super Bowls. Who cares? I just want one. Like everybody says this before I die, but like nobody actually wants to do it. You said this to me in a text earlier this week, and you said that the Wilfs are more concerned with being the Browns or not being the Browns or the Jets than they are with actually winning a championship. I will take it a step further. They just want to be better than the Packers. That is their bar. It's not super competitive. It's not in the hunt. It's anything else. Can we be better than the Packers? Because, oh my God, they're the perfect little franchise. If we're better than the Packers, that's like our Super Bowl. Like Packer fans are absolutely right when they say congrats on your Super Bowl when we win games, because that's all we care about. And here's what I want. This is what I want more than anything this offseason. Fix yourself. We sit here and we laugh at the Packers, as this redneck trailer trash franchise, and the Vikings are basically equivalent of My 600-Pound Life or Hoarders with all the rats and shit crawling in the walls and coming out, and the crack showed up. You had a coach go on an ego trip. You had a front office not know what the hell they're doing. A quarterback who watched the Disney Channel and went, I'm going to be like the heel quarterback in that movie because I think that's how an NFL quarterback should look. It's embarrassing. I don't want to hear anybody go, well, we finished with a winning record and we won our last 5 games and we're going in with no momentum. The fuck you are. You're way over the salary cap. You don't have a quarterback. Maybe you have a defense if your defensive coordinator doesn't leave. Oh, yeah, and your head coach still will probably go back to the bombs away offense with, I don't know, Mac Jones or somebody else because you're not getting Joe Burrow. Like, it's embarrassing. This is why after all the weeks I've trashed the Minnesota Wild, I am wearing a Minnesota Wild hat on this podcast. Because you know why? Because after all those years of spinning their wheels and force feeding Matt Boldy and Marcus Foligno down my throat, Bill Guerin stepped to the plate, choked up, and took a big swing and landed Quinn Hughes. And that player, I don't think is available for the Vikings. So I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe I'm not apathetic because I'm this fired up about it, but it annoys the hell out of me that we're just sitting here being like, well, just as many games as the Packers. Fuck off.
Well, I think what annoys me and probably you and maybe some people that are our age who have been watching this team for multiple decades is the people that come out right away yesterday and are like, despite everyone calling this a disaster season, they finished 9-8, won their last 5 in a row, have a top 5 defense. Dallas Turner got 8 sacks. It's like, shut up. Like, did nothing. The season meant nothing. Like,
read the room, dude.
Like, they haven't won a playoff game. Kirk Cousins is the last quarterback to win a playoff game.
And don't worry, he might come back.
He might. But like the reason that people get satisfied, like people being comfortable being satisfied with this kind of stuff, with this kind of season, like, oh, they're 9-8, so that means it was a decent season. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And that feeling of being satisfied with a season like this is the reason. It's not the reason why the Vikings are the way they are, but it doesn't help it because there aren't enough fans just like screaming from the rafters, like yelling at the Wilfs, like, you guys need to fix this. The Wilfs, they're making plenty of money. People are going to games because the team is competitive every week. Even though they don't beat any good teams, they still beat, all the teams they're supposed to. And then maybe they'll pull off an upset here and there and then make people think they can be good, and then they'll get destroyed the following week. But yeah, I think this season, if I've learned anything, it's just to not believe Kevin O'Connell for a second. I used to think like he was. I knew he was always like talking out of both sides of his mouth, a lot of the time, but this year it felt more disingenuous than ever. Just a lot of the, you know, we think JJ can step right in and be, that franchise guy for our quarterback, for our team. We're not worried about him. It's just it's a small injury. He'll be back soon. Max Brosmer, like we're super comfortable with him being out there. It's just a lot of things like Christian Darrisaw being healthy enough to play when he's not. Like, there's just a lot of things that Kevin O'Connell, um, either intentionally or unintentionally, like, put himself in the middle of and didn't know how to get out of it. And I feel like he has a lot of egg on his face after this year because he's someone who uses, he's a motivating kind of coach. Like, he's going to use those tactics to motivate you and rah-rah speeches. And I feel like sometimes he does that to the fan base and the people who cover the team to just get people excited about something that's not even close to what he's saying it is. And then it doesn't go the way that he says it's going to go. And everyone's like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. Listen, me, my offense works. I don't know. I don't know what happened out there. It wasn't special teams. Like, it was special teams. They could have done more, and we would have won. Um, So, yeah, I just, my impression of Kevin O'Connell is a lot different after this season than it was a year ago when he was coach of the year and turning Sam Darnold around. And that thing too, I don't even I'm still okay with them moving on from Sam Darnold. Like, um, I don't know how much better or if they would be better with Sam Darnold. Like, is Sam Darnold gonna be good behind a offensive line that has 55 combos throughout the entire season? Is he gonna be good with Jordan Addison suspended for the first 3 games, with DJ Hawkinson sucking because he has cement for feet? Like, is he gonna be good with, them not running the ball, him getting killed every week, like, special teams not being able to cover kickoff returns and punt returns? Like, I'm not so sure Sam Darnold would be that much better, if better at all, if he was still the quarterback, and plus they would be paying him a whole lot more, and they wouldn't even have, like, the other pieces around to be better, to be as good as they were this year, even with bad quarterback play. So, I still would have gone with McCarthy the beginning of the year because I think we've always said on this show and in the past, we just want the Vikings to take a chance on a young quarterback. We're tired of Kirk Cousins. We're tired of the retreads. We want them to take a chance on a young quarterback. They did. It seems like they're done. Um, I don't think they're gonna get rid of McCarthy, but I would be very, very surprised if he's the week 1 starter next year.
Yeah, let's dive into JJ McCarthy a little bit. When we talked last week, we were kind of like, oh, there's no way he'll play this game. I mean, he's got a broken hand. And the next day, Kevin O'Connell's like, oh, he's looking
What did
good.
we
We think
say?
he's gonna play.
Small, tiny, he's got tiny fractures. They're just
Ti-
tiny fractures.
I mean, a broken hand probably still hurts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It's a
kind of what
broken
I'm thinking.
bone.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Paper
No,
cuts.
it's just a
If you get
small one.
if you get a paper cut in between your fingers, that hurts a lot.
Okay, this is an old man story. Speaking of which, I'll share this. So, as a person who will turn 40 this year, excuse me, I have to take heartburn pills
Mm,
before I
yeah.
have a beer or whatever. So, like, I went to go pop the heartburn pill out, and I don't know how it happened, but the actual like little thing slit my finger,
Foil?
and the foil, and it just started bleeding everywhere. I was like, what the hell? Like, it looked like I was in like a cage match for a
And
second
then
or
and
something.
then the worst thing is when you forget and then you put hand sanitizer on your hand and then it's like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Like run through the shower and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, steam,
Yeah, so,
no.
like, this thing of like, "Oh, it's a tiny fracture." No, it's a broken bone, okay?
Yeah.
And it's in his throwing hand, not the hand that he doesn't use or stiff arms people with, because he does that. The hand that he throws with, that he needs to grip the ball, which was a very big emphasis for Kevin O'Connell when he was talking about it. He was, "Oh, he needs to grip the ball, grip the ball, grip the ball." Um, but yeah, the very, it seemed like before you get into whatever you're getting into about JJ McCarthy, it seemed like Kevin O'Connell or the Vikings were setting JJ up McCarthy, like putting him in a losing situation by playing him in this game. There wasn't really a lot that he could benefit from the outcome of this game. Because if he played well, it would have been like, oh, well, he did well against the Packers backups. And if he didn't play well, it would have been like, why didn't he play so well against the Packers backups? Or if he has to leave the game early with injury, it's like, oh, this kid can't stay healthy. So there wasn't a whole lot for him to win from playing, and maybe that's part of the reason why Kevin O'Connell wanted him to play.
They knew he wasn't going to play the whole game. That's
Oh yeah,
You want your soft benching conspiracies, you
yeah.
want all this stuff. I think the Vikings knew. Like, and part of me thought, well, maybe that's the plan. It's like, hey, if you can play a half, we'll just play as long as you can go. The game doesn't matter or whatever. But this morning, man, it like from our friend Matthew Collar to excuse me, Ben Lieber, it's just been a constant
Not a friend,
stream.
by the way. Who is not a
W-
friend?
Not a friend of the show, not at all. Not when you call him Timu Batista or Dollar Store Batista or whatever. Um, he was on KFXN and he was talking about it. And I got the Otter AI summary up
Mm.
here just to kind of go through it. But basically, he didn't like the fact he took himself out of the game. He was questioning the theatrics because he had it covered with a hand, and everybody's dopey idiot meat sauce walked around like nobody was talking to him, but he was talking to everybody
because they were
else.
on the
Like,
field.
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I mean, I understand where he's coming from with the comments because it was just sudden. Like I looked up and Max Brosmer was in the game. I was like, huh? But I also think too, like, was that a conversation that was after the Giants game? Did Kevin O'Connell tell him, hey, next time like that happens, you need to get out of the game or whatever?
I think it was. I think they've talked about that. Like,
Yeah. So like if that's and I mean, it was just very weird too, because like JJ McCarthy went to the podium and he was like, I'm proud of myself for taking myself out of the game. And everybody's
yeah.
like, huh? Um,
And I didn't when he took himself out, I didn't care. Like,
no.
I didn't care because
It-
this game didn't matter. So it's like if he can't play, whatever, fine. Everyone knew he was hurt before. So it is way different than, if anyone wants to compare it to the Anthony Richardson situation when he was out of breath and he
yeah.
tapped himself out to get out of the game. It's way different. This kid has a broken hand, his throwing hand. He has broken bones in there, and he was trying to play with it, and he didn't want, you know, an addicting Toradol shot that makes you feel like garbage afterwards. Um, he probably is using some other, he follows RFK and stuff, so that's fun. Um, so yeah, there's that. But like this notion that people are just like furious because he took himself out of it. Like Justin Jefferson didn't care. Kevin O'Connell, I don't. It didn't seem like he cared. Like nobody on the team cared. But then like Ben Lieber comes out, like, oh, didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like Ben Lieber comes from the generation he played in like the Favre era where we remember the '09 championship game where Favre had, like, 2 broken ankles, and then he ended up throwing, a pick to lose the NFC championship game. What if Brett Favre took himself out of that game because he was too hurt to play, and the Vikings didn't throw that pick, and then they won the NFC championship? How much differently would Lieber feel about that? But he comes from the macho tough guy, like, you gotta be out there every play, get CTE, who cares? Just make sure you're out there to play every single play. It's like, dude, like, chill out. This game did not matter. Like all this whole season of harping on every little thing this 22-year-old kid does is ridiculous. Like, I know it's the age we live in and everyone's under a microscope, but like he couldn't breathe right this year without someone criticizing him. Like he couldn't get a haircut without someone criticizing him. He couldn't witness the birth of his own child without people criticizing him. Like what in the world? Um, and I think that factored into a lot of his struggles this year. I think a lot of it was mental. Um, I liked a lot of the things I saw from JJ McCarthy this year. He showed a lot of flashes. That throw to Ben Sims on Sunday was insane on the sideline there. But like it's like people are going out of their way, I feel like, at points to just find something wrong with JJ McCarthy just to, portray him they've heard from maybe somebody because Ben Lieber he's the Vikings sideline analyst. He works for KFan or whatever, the Vikings radio network. He's probably talked to people with the Vikings who have told him like, yeah, we're probably not gonna roll with JJ McCarthy next year. So he probably feels the freedom to say this because if they wanted to keep JJ McCarthy, he's not talking like this. He would not say this. I guarantee you he would not be talking like this. Um,
He would never say this about Kirk Cousins. Like
right.
in peak Kirk Cousins vortex, like, no way.
Exactly. Exactly. But this immature kid who, put a towel on his hand like he's a magician. It's like, what are you talking about? Like what just who cares? The game's over. Like who it's like let him go in the off season, figure things out. Justin Jefferson, the first thing he said was like, we're gonna work. I'm gonna get with JJ as quickly as possible, and we're gonna work as much as we can to like fix our connections. Like that's a leader. That's the guy you want. I know you love when people call him a leader this year, but um,
Well, it is true, but
That's who you should be
go
listening
ahead.
to,
Go
not Ben Lieber, who hasn't played in the NFL in 2 decades and has no idea what it's like to be a quarterback, and especially a young quarterback in your first year as a starter playing trying to lead a team that won 14 games a year ago. Like, it's ridiculous. That bothered me so much today.
I have a couple of thoughts
Okay.
based on this. One, the Justin Jefferson leader thing. I do, I think he has grown as a leader. Like he is the leader of this team. They've talked about it. He said he's taken Jordan Addison under his wing. He actually went to the Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital a couple weeks ago where my sister works. She was not there. She always tells me, she's like, I'm never there when like cool people show up. And like, she just kind of laughs. She's like, but she told me like Justin Jefferson is like even nicer than he seems, like one of the coolest people on earth. And I believe that. I mean, I'm a Justin Jefferson fan. He's one of my favorite players on the team as a fan. So all of that is good, but it just seems like it's overboard like this year. Like, oh man, he didn't storm up and down the sidelines and like choke out, JJ McCarthy
He never
for
has.
throwing a rocket ball. Well, I mean, yeah, like that's kind of how it should be. And by the way, maybe if he did, we're not adjusting our offense after we've been eliminated from the playoffs. Maybe somebody goes to Kevin O'Connell and says, hey man, could you like try something different, like change up some person, maybe bring CJ Hammond or whatever. It's kind of all these things. The second point you mentioned is, he's just a kid thing. He's an NFL quarterback. I know, I understand what people are trying to say with that. Like, hey, this is a young player. This is year 2. This is basically his first year because his actual rookie year was wiped out due to, the torn meniscus or whatever. This has a lot of criticism, and McCarthy also brings it on himself because, like I said in my rant earlier, he acts like he said when he was a kid, he wanted to manifest it. Like I think edited his life or something to be an NFL quarterback. And I don't know if he's like a method actor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he thought like he'd be James Vanderbeek, like as a quarterback or whatever, some of those things just don't work. Like the personal foul penalty where he's like running out of bounds and taking the hit on the shoulder, which I kind of said I liked. And then I thought, oh yeah, he's got a broken hand. What are you doing? But I mean, sure. But yeah, getting in the face of Keyshawn Nixon and screaming
That's
at
very
him.
Baker. I told you yesterday, but that's very Baker Mayfield.
Correct.
And guess whose team didn't make the playoffs this year?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, because he got too hurt.
Well, that's funny because this gets to my last point. I don't mean this as I'm out on JJ McCarthy because I think he could wind up being a serviceable starter someday. I don't think it's going to work here in Minnesota. I don't think he will pan out as a Vikings quarterback because I don't think he meshes with the coaching staff. And that could just be me reading too many articles or tea leaves or whatever. But I mean, the whole gritty thing into the end zone where he bobbled the ball and then that became a big public fiasco. The whole birth of his child happening at the wrong time. Like that was another big thing that was going on. Just a whole lot of things that the offense and everything else. And I think the other thing is, and this is, I would say kind of an unfortunate part of this, the front office and ownership does not have the patience for this. They wanted somebody you just took out of the oven, plugged in, very much like Bo Nix, who everybody kind of shit on him in the pre-draft process. And
I did.
You know what? Here's what he got knocked for. He made the right read at the right time.
And
that apparently was something.
And he had
bad.
Too much experience,
right? And I don't even like Bo Nix, but at the same time, it's just like if they had Bo Nix at quarterback, they make the playoffs and they get their home gates. So they get the playoff. I know it's such a low bar, but I mean that's just it. It's just
if they had Michael Penix, they probably make the playoffs.
We are too scared. We being the Vikings, I probably shouldn't use we, but they are too scared. Like for the bottom to drop out and like, oh my God, what will happen if the bottom drops out. I mean, think about it. If they went on the same path where they were 4 and whatever,
They're 4-8.
4-8. I mean, they're in striking distance for Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. They could take another shot if they want to, or they could use that pick to go get another, weapon to add to your infrastructure, maybe some draft capital since you've whiffed on every pick since 2022. Like those,
I'm not getting excited about draft picks.
No, neither am I. But I'm just saying, like, these are the things. And here's the other thing too. Sometimes quarterbacks and regimes just don't pan out.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, you mentioned him.
Yep.
He goes to Cleveland. He gets off to a good start in his career. I believe he won a playoff game in his second year. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Stefanski went, I don't want to play with you anymore. He gets traded to Carolina, gets cut, goes to LA, and now he's, and I know they didn't make the playoffs, but Bucks don't have a quarterback
the Bucks won the division about the last 2 years, though. So
and you could argue they probably should have won their division if it weren't for some wonky tiebreakers. It weren't for that damn Kirk Cousins.
Well, and they had right, yeah, and they had a lot. They had a lot of like their whole offense was injured this year, but that's football as well. Yeah, but there's Baker Mayfield. There's other players too, right?
Jared Goff. That's the other guy. And the guy that Kevin O'Connell learned from got sick of Jared Goff and he traded for Matt. Now he won a Super Bowl after that. So that's what you're hoping. But like, is Matthew Stafford out there for the Vikings? Like in theory, not actually Matthew Stafford, but I mean, we're looking at Joe Burrow. I don't think he's going to actually become available.
They cannot afford Joe Burrow. I know everyone, he's the pipe dream, but he's getting paid like $60 million next year. Yeah. Vikings are $40 million over the cap. They cannot afford Joe Burrow. What are they going to do? Add 20 void years to his contract so they can spread it out like he's Shohei Ohtani and pay his contract in 30 years like it's
Don't give
a mortgage.
Any ideas there?
Yeah, right. Well, like everyone keeps bringing up Joe, they cannot afford him. What the Vikings can do is wait for someone to be cut, like Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray, and try and sign them. And make sure you sign someone who fits your offense, because I'm not dealing with this bullshit again where it's like, oh, we got to work on his fundamentals. And if he just, kept his feet set a little bit more and stayed in the pocket and wasn't so, out of control, then we would have been able to hit more like that's why I don't want them to go after a Malik Willis. I'm even worried about them going after someone like Kyler Murray, because he'll take plays like it's a strength of his to use his legs and get away from pressure, but to Kevin O'Connell, that's not his strength. He wants you just hang in there in the pocket and get the shit beat out of yourself, so you can stand in there and just wait for Justin Jefferson's 3 route breaks to happen before he's open. So yeah, like the Vikings options I feel like are a lot smaller this year when it comes to quarterback than a lot of people think they are. Like everyone's like, oh, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, we trade for Matthew Stafford if he's doesn't want to be there. And it's like, no, they can't. They have no money. They cannot do that. And I don't want them to draft anybody because they can't develop anybody because they don't have patience. So they don't have a lot of options. Like, I know I said I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to be the week 1 starter, but it doesn't mean there's a non-zero chance of that happening either. Like he's going to compete for the job, but I think the Vikings are going to want to bring in a veteran like Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers.
See, I've been screaming about Aaron Rodgers all weekend, and more is because I was crashing out on a Sunday like I usually do.
He wasn't bad last night.
No, he was pretty good last night, but Kevin Seifert mentioned in his big article about the quarterback position that Kevin O'Connell didn't want Aaron Rodgers to be doing the whole, hand signal,
run his offense
code things. Yeah. The
do everything he's been good at for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's an ego. Like, hey, Hall of Fame quarter. Like, I do not want Aaron Rodgers on this team. I did not want Aaron Rodgers on this team. I will not cheer for him if he is on the Minnesota Vikings. But
I think I've changed my mind on that.
You would welcome Aaron Rodgers with open
I'm over
arms?
it now. I just wanna I wanna I want this team to win the Super Bowl. I really I'll take the blood Super Bowl, the blood money Super Bowl. Like, I don't wanna be 'cause, if they're in the NFC Championship, you're gonna be cheering for the Vikings if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. You're gonna want them to win. You're gonna get there. You're gonna.
I don't think they'll.
People
Well, I
have
don't
this
think this
people have
team
these
is an
things.
Aaron Rodgers away from
No, I
the
don't think so either.
NFC champ. And I mean, maybe you could have said that in 2009. Like, I didn't want Favre either, but I mean,
Yeah.
Favre is a different case than
He was a lot
Rodgers.
more
Like,
likable, though,
yeah, Favre was. I mean,
back then.
even watching Aaron Rodgers, his headset's off. He's like screaming at Arthur Blank, Arthur Smith. Give me the play
Arthur Blank.
call. He's got the AI wife or whatever the hell it is going
Yeah.
on
We haven't
there.
seen her.
Like, I don't know.
Would his wife be able to survive the cold? Minnesota?
Just spills a soda on her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just calls 911. They're like, what's your emergency? My wife, she's in trouble. What happened? Well, I spilled water on her and now sparks are everywhere.
That made me
Excuse
think
me?
of that, what's that show, like 911 Rescue or whatever?
Yeah.
There's like a clip of someone being frozen and they like do the CPR on their chest and completely break their chest. I don't know why that made me think of that, but
I remember that show when I was a kid, and I remember so this is pure like 90s, but like my parents I think they had their minivan, but they took out the bucket seats for a trip to Colorado because it was me and my two sisters. My youngest sister wasn't born yet.
Nice.
And they took out the bucket seats and they rented like one of those TV VCRs and they just taped a shitload of shows because it was like a 12-hour drive to Colorado.
Yeah.
And one of them was Rescue 911. And like the episode was like this kid was walking around like brushing his teeth and like he tripped and like the toothbrush got lodged in his throat.
Don't say that. My kids run around with their toothbrushes. That makes me think that, and I always think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like it just made me like, I don't think I like didn't brush my teeth for a while or anything gross like that. But I mean, it was just like, no, I'm not going to run around with my, just typical kid program.
That's what we'd rather talk about than Aaron Rodgers on the Vikings.
I think it's going to be Kirk Cousins. The more I think about it, it's just, and like, here's the thing too.
But that's the thing though. Like, he's not going to come back and get paid $30 million a year. He's going to be 10.
It's going to have to be a veteran minimum deal.
I feel like 15, probably whatever they're going to pay Daniel Jones last year. Because Kirk's agent's going to be like, no, you need me now. So now I am going to tell you how much you're going to pay me. I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see what the Falcons do because Michael Penix is out next year. And I know they can't pay Kirk Cousins. I think he has like a $56 million cap hit or whatever next year. They can't pay him that. So I'm curious to see what they do because, well, I guess they're going to need a whole new coaching staff. So it's not like it's going to be running the same offense because Raheem Morris
the general manager, they fired
Terry
Fontenot.
So they will, all right. So they're probably going to cut a bunch of people and take on a bunch of dead cap. So yeah, wow. No. And I can already see the videos, the social media videos. Kirk goes back. Get your change out. Yeah, and then he's gonna throw a pick six against the Packers, and everything will be back to normal.
Line up under the guard or whatever. Like I laughed at a line from Alec Lewis in a piece at The Athletic where he said, the value of comfort. Fuck comfort. I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I want nerves. I want, where I get nerves from? A playoff game. I want to be in a playoff game and be like, all right, here we go. This is a huge game. We got a shot here. Not, well, if 25 different things go right, we got a chance to win this. No, I want to be that team. And I don't know. I mean,
do we think the Eagles were comfortable last year with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown hating each other? I don't think so. But then they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay.
Mean, being uncomfortable is good in the NFL, but
the dude was reading a book on the sideline because he was super stressed out.
That's just funny. Always open. Always open. I mean, I
They're in
have
the
some,
playoffs.
like, we haven't mentioned Mac Jones either, but like I don't want Mac
No,
Jones.
why would the Niners give him up?
Yeah.
Brock
I
Purdy
mean, that
gets
would
hurt.
just bury McCarthy.
Brock Purdy gets hurt too. Like they need a backup too. I don't know why they would. I heard this mentioned last night too. I think it might have been on Ventline on Purple Daily about like how it's becoming clear that Shanahan was the one who turned Sam Darnold around and not Kevin O'Connell. And Kevin O'Connell kind of just took whatever Shanahan did and like just used it to his advantage because he just did that with Mac Jones. He's done with Brock Purdy. Did it with Jimmy Garoppolo. And did it with Sam Darnold. So like he's got a track record of fixing these guys where Kevin O'Connell is just like, oh, I did it. Oh yeah, I fixed Kirk Cousins.
Check out my Coach of the Year award. Like,
Yeah, that I
4
think.
winning seasons in 5
Yeah.
years.
How did those do for Kevin Stefanski? He's got 2 of them.
I
And
don't
Brian
know,
Dable has 1 too.
he's going. He'll probably follow Brian Dable, to be honest. Now get the CTE bros,
Those
Scatabo
Coach of
and
the Year
Dart.
awards go real far with if you win Coach of the Year twice with the Browns and you can't keep your job, that's not good.
That's not good at all. I honestly think he'll do well wherever he ends up,
He will.
especially if he goes in the right situation. I mean, John Harbaugh could get fired now, which
I don't think that's a good idea.
no,
They just had a bad season. It's one of those seasons where like you have a bad season and everyone's pointing fingers. Like
Lamar ate some gas
Like
station
the
Alfredo.
Bengals just announced they're not firing anybody. They're bringing back everyone.
Well, I mean, it
All the
costs
same
money.
coaches, like obviously. The defensive coordinator who their defense was terrible and they're bringing him back. So like I guess it could be worse for Vikings fans. Well, Brian Flores hasn't left yet. He's probably going to. Raiders probably, right? You think?
If they're smart, that's what they would do. I mean, Tom Brady's the minority owner of that team, but
He runs everything over there.
and he knows Flores.
Yep.
So
I heard Flores as the head coach and Dable as the OC for the Raiders because they're both Patriots disciples. Could be worse.
I swear to God, the Raiders have tried to be the Patriots for like 10 years. Like, we're gonna hire Josh McDaniels and bring the Patriot way.
Ever since they got fucked by Tom Brady in the tech rule game, they've been trying to be Tom Brady and the Patriots. That's like I think that might have been the last year they won a playoff game. It was right before the tech rule.
2002 NFC or AFC championship game.
So it was the tuck rule game.
I think it might have been because they won the Super Bowl in 2001 with Brady. That's when everything started.
Okay.
Because I remember, or 2001 season, because I remember this is a weird way of remembering it, but U2 was the halftime show at that Super Bowl. And they had, it was right after 9/11. So they had all the people who died on the thing. Yeah, that's how I remember that one. Super Bowl's in a couple of weeks. So we don't have a team in the fight. You want to pick a bandwagon team? This could wind up being a 3-minute discussion or like a 20-minute discussion, but
I'll root for the Bills just because they're a fellow 0-4 Super Bowl team, and if the Vikings can't win it, I'd rather have them win it.
Here's what we got. I'll run this down. Here's what we got for teams. NFC, we have the Rams, we have the Panthers, we have the Packers, we have the Bears, the 49ers, Eagles, Seahawks, and in the AFC. We have the Bills, Jaguars, Chargers, Patriots, Texans, Steelers, and Broncos. I jotted down 3 automatic eliminations that are hell no, and that's the Bears, the Packers, and the Broncos.
Because Sean Payton, right?
Yep, fuck Sean Payton. That's basically my thing there.
Although my dad is Broncos fan, so I'd be happy for him, but sorry, can't root for them.
I don't know. I mean, looking at this thing, it's almost like I just want some good games.
The Jaguars. Jaguars would be fun.
It's a fun field this year. I will say that, where it's kind of like you got some new blood. There's no Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, even Lamar being out.
I saw a post that was like, this is the first time since 2018 that the Chiefs or Bengals won't be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, and the Bengals only did that once.
Yeah.
So it's like, why'd you put them in there?
I think I want to see Josh Allen finish the story,
Yeah,
to borrow the wrestling term.
Dalvin Cook's brother,
Yeah. Dalvin Cook's brother
James.
is there. And
Zach
plus
Hiller, he'll be there at the Super Bowl if they make it.
who?
Zach Hiller,
Zach Hiller, yeah, I'm sure. With Dalvin
super
Cook's
agent.
bionic shoulder.
Oh yeah, Dalvin.
Yeah.
Dalvin's only like, Dalvin's like 30 years old.
Yeah, makes sense.
It feels like he's like 35.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Bring him back. No, Kirk
What's that?
Cousins. Bring back Dalvin. Let's get Irv Smith Jr. back in here. Kyle Rudolph.
Just like we could sign Alan Lazard and
Yeah.
John Kuhn and all those guys if we bring Aaron Rodgers in.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb's still out there. I don't know. I mean, I look at this thing and this went better in my head, but like Rams, Sean McVay's kind of going Kevin O'Connell bro mode. Like he's just kind of then Puka's like off his rocker now.
If the Rams win the Super Bowl, I think Stafford retires. I think McVay goes to TV.
And I think he'd be really good at
TV.
Yeah.
He would, I'm trying to think who he would replace.
Think they
I wouldn't want to put him on Thursday Night Football because Al Michaels is just blah. Like, it wouldn't be fair.
Al Michaels makes Spiro Ditas look like Paul Allen.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, there's the over.
Collinsworth, but people like Collinsworth, I guess. Kind of. I don't even know.
He's just annoying. Where
there isn't really to their credit, there isn't really a broadcast that needs help besides Thursday Night Football, and I feel like they would have to completely redo that if Al Michaels left.
And that's more about the play-by-play guy than the color guy because Herb Street's fine. I think Herb Street's better as a college guy than a pro guy, just because he's more familiar with it.
Stupid dog.
Are you saying you don't like dogs?
I love dogs. I don't like his dog.
Just everywhere he goes.
It's like he's the first person in the world to have a dog. Like, it's Peter. Come pet Peter. Oh.
His other dog died.
Yeah, every dog dies. They don't live forever. I would go. I think
just clone him like Tom Brady.
Yeah, I would go with the Bills, and then I just think the Jaguars would be fun, just because. I don't know. They're a fun team to watch. Like I watched the clip yesterday of they gave Trevor Lawrence a grill, like a teeth grill.
Yeah.
Because there's that like meme or whatever of him going around that's like AI generated of him like having a grill in his mouth and being all bedazzled out. So they gave him a real one. So I like that kind of stuff. And then, I don't know, the Chargers. Wouldn't that be hilarious if Jim Harbaugh just won the Super Bowl and the Vikings and JJ McCarthy sucked same year? That'd be great.
Like Chargers, Seahawks, Super Bowl. Just Jim Harbaugh on one end and Sam Darnold on the other.
Point, we thought it was going to be Seahawks and Colts at one point this year, and that would have been a disaster. Kwesi would have been fired like during halftime of that game. I don't think the Seahawks are gonna. I think the Seahawks are gonna be a Lions like last year and lose in the first round in their first game. I know they have a bye.
Even the Texans would be fun. I think it's basically almost the entire AFC field. Obviously, no Steelers. Sorry, Adam Thielen fans. I don't want it. And here's the thing too: the deeper the Steelers go, I think the more in Aaron Rodgers' mind it'll be like, I was so close to winning another one. I was so close. And the Steelers might be like, we kind of want to move on. And Kevin O'Connell will be like, 20-minute spiel. Hey, we got this quarterback, we don't really like him. He's kind of like a Disney quarterback. And
I feel bad for Steelers fans because they were so close to firing Mike Tomlin last night. And now I have, coworkers, whoever who cover and like the Steelers are like, great. 6 more years of Mike Tomlin. Can't wait. So excited.
That was insane, though. That was like a Vikings level choke job.
Yes.
And I mean,
a rookie kicker. I feel terrible for him.
Yeah, I guess he just got engaged,
Ugh,
and like
jeez.
Ravens fans went to the comments and
Mm.
not good. Not good.
Hey,
So
maybe tell Lamar to complete a few more passes before the fourth quarter. You could do
yeah,
that too.
yeah, that's possible. I don't know if they're upset with him. Well, I don't know if I'd take him on the Vikings because Kevin O'Connell wouldn't know what to do with him.
Lamar, no, that sounds insane to be like, no, I
Yeah,
don't want Lamar Jackson. But it's like, what has Kevin O'Connell shown anyone that he can use a quarterback like that? Nothing. Nothing.
no. So yeah, the official bandwagon team. We don't really have one. We're just
Bills. I'll say the Bills for me.
Bills. Okay, now I gotta choose one.
It's their last year in their old stadium too. They wore their red helmets yesterday.
Those were sick.
Those are good.
Those are very good. I'd say the Bills. Yes, Bills, and then we
I just
take
wish
Bills, Jaguars, Texans.
the Super
Can't have
Bowl was
three. It's a
in
cop
like
out.
New Orleans. So like if the Bills made it, Bills Mafia would like go insane in New Orleans all week on Bourbon Street. Just
Yeah.
tables breaking everywhere.
Speaking of, I mean, we got a WWE superstar doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, as they say. I don't know. We're getting weird here. We should probably wrap shit up. Hey, what's going on at the Viking age, Adam?
Well, it is officially the off season. Today we put out our 7 players who definitely will not be out or definitely won't be back next year. There's a couple names that seem pretty obvious and some that may not. So check that out. But we'll be looking towards the draft. We just released the opponents the Vikings are going to play next year because those have been finalized. They have to play the Jets next year, so that's exciting. That should be one win. But it's at MetLife, so maybe not. But yeah, lots of off-season related stuff. We'll be keeping an eye on when I believe Kevin and O'Connell and Quasey will probably speak Wednesday. I feel like they'll probably sometime this week. They usually speak after the season, and then they'll give their spiel about JJ McCarthy. Well, we love him and we were excited about his development, and then not answer if he's gonna be the starter next year. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting off season, and we'll have all the coverage over on thevikingage.com.
And of course, check out the FanSided RBN network to keep up with everything that's going on in the NFC North. If you want to hate watch, we got Dairyland Express for the Packers, DeWindy City for the Chicago Bears, and Detroit Jock City for the Lions, who aren't in the playoffs, but just crashing out.
Oh.
Very fun to watch.
We're not recording before the weekend, so are the Packers beating the Bears?
Yes.
Ooh.
I think the Packers win that game.
I think so too.
But I think it'll be a good game. I just
hey, you know,
those one score victories run out, man. We know all about that.
Oh yeah.
So.
You know what didn't happen this season? The Bears still do not have a quarterback who has thrown for 4,000 yards or more. The streak lives on. Caleb was like what? 40 yards short, 100 yards short.
Kelvin Shepard's got that in his pocket.
Yeah.
He may not have a job in a couple of days, but he's got that.
Hooray.
Also, too, if you want to read my Viking stuff, it's over at zonecoverage.com. I write about the Twins as well, even though there's not a lot going on there. And the Minnesota Wild Hockey Wilderness wrote a story about
hottest team in the state right now.
Yeah. State of hockey. That's what they call us over here. But of course, this is the Viking Age podcast, the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. We do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. And we're in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. Just so you guys know, we're thinking about mixing things up a little bit during the off season. So probably with the off season going down, we'll probably have one episode a week up until the combine. Maybe 2 episodes through free agency and draft season, and then back to 1 episode after the draft until training camp. So
we're going to Cancun too. So
we are. Actually, I was going to Galveston. That dirty ass water, which the Vikings probably deserve at this point. But however you consume us, of course, like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode, and we can spread the word to the masses. I am Chris Schad at the Real Chris Schad. He is Adam Patrick at Adam Patrick NFL. 4 letters, 1 word. Skull.